Hello there, this is DBT, and these are the rooms. And alright, it's time to talk about Asphalt 8 again. Yeah, it's one of those videos where we're gonna talk about the game, but don't worry, there will be some gameplay in the video, so don't panic. There will be something else to watch during this process. But as you can see by the title, today we're gonna focus on the Treasure Rush. That is right, Treasure Rush has already started again, and this time is for the Deus Vayan, a card that had been rumored for a very long time that was coming into the game, and yet we never saw it, except that you would see it in multiplayer from time to time, but whatever. So the Deus Vayan, apparently it's a really strong class S car. Apparently it has insane acceleration, bad handling, something, I don't know. I'm not gonna talk too much about the car itself because I haven't driven it, I don't know, and I really don't care for it. What I want to talk about is the Treasure Rush itself. Now, it's no secret that I don't like Treasure Rush. I consider it a bad addition to the game just because of the addition of gambling in a game that had successfully removed gambling from it. And I've criticized it before, and rightfully so. I got some pushback from some of you guys telling me, well, DBT, but there's also good stuff in here. You can get some direct upgrades, you can get parts, you can get all of that, and you know what? I agree, it is true. You can get good stuff over here. The part that bothers me, it's the gambling aspect of it. That is what I don't like. And to be completely honest, much like with any other Treasure Rush, I'm completely uninterested in, oh, I need to get the car. I really wanted the Porsche Year of the Rabbit Edition car, but you know, I wasn't gonna pay I don't know how much money you needed to pay in order to guarantee the getting the car, or spend a whole bunch of money in trying to test my luck. Speaking of luck, I might as well use my dices, what is the plural? I don't know, whatever. So I got a free one to claim, and I can buy one for this, and I can buy one for that. Again, this is currency that I've gotten through saving for a very long time. So yeah, now I got, what, 4 dices. I missed one because I did my gauntlet races before this was added. But anyway, so there is good stuff that you can get over here. That is for sure. I got a Class D upgrade. Well, not amazing, but hey, it is what it is. So yeah, I mean, getting a bunch of parts and all of that, it's good. And in fact, they added stages to the rewards that you can get over here. How great, now I'm going in the opposite direction. If you haven't seen, now you can get 30,000 fusion coins when you get to 100 points, I think. I don't know how many points for the rest, but you can get one wildcard of Class D, one wildcard for C, one wildcard for B, for A, for S, maybe one, it doesn't say that it's more, direct upgrade over here. And eventually you get to stage 8, you can unlock the Deus Vayan. But of course that means that you need to be getting a bunch of points of this, which are obviously not guaranteed. So again, it's just a matter of rolling the dice quite literally and hope that you get something decent over there. And I got another Class D upgrade, yay! I'm so happy about that. I know I'm being a little bit facetious or negative about this whole thing, and I will always been like that. Oh well, I got an orange one. It's fine, I'll use it at some point. I don't like this. I really don't like this because of the whole gambling aspect. The fact that you can spend $5 to get 4 dices and maybe get a whole bunch of nothing like I just did. So that is why I don't like it. But more so, nowadays, more than that, I understand this is a feature that is here to stay, even though it's very rarely used. It was a few months since we saw the last one, so anyway. I know that this is a feature that is here to stay. Probably they're gonna use it a bunch. The problem that I have now with this whole concept is the fact that Gameloft continues to add stuff that is no good for the gameplay of this game. Now, I promised you some gameplay, and this is actually a video that I recorded like over a month and a half ago of me just doing some races with the Fenner. So let's just watch that while I talk about this, because I wanted to have something playing while we talked about this whole thing, because might as well, right? So yeah, all of this you're watching is a video playing. But anyway, so what I was saying is that Gameloft hasn't added gameplay related features, and I think that is what the game is needing the most. Now, I want to make a big of a disclaimer first of all, that I don't want this video to sound like I'm trying to just crap on Gameloft. Oh, they're doing nothing. No. They are working hard on stuff. But I feel like all of the effort that they're putting into the stuff, they should split it a little bit to add something good for players overall. Now, when I say gameplay-wise, I mean something that has to do with the racing of the game, not the menus, not stores, no nothing, something about the gameplay. And if you think about it, the very last gameplay-related thing that they added, a new feature, was Gauntlet. And that was, yeah, like what, 2 years ago or something like that? That was the very last one. And granted, it's a very fun one, even though I personally don't play it too much or enjoy it too much because it's not my type of thing. It's a new gameplay thing, and it was fresh and it was great, and I think a lot of people love it, and that's fantastic. But where I'm going with this is that after that there have been really no innovations in gameplay, and I think that is what is currently making the game a little bit boring. And by a little bit I mean, to me, honestly, it has been getting very stale lately. Let's think about the last two things the last two new features that they added in the game. The one being the seasons. When they added the seasons, you know, the neon season, and even though that was great because of the rewards that you could get, that is not gameplay. That was a store. It was a monetization system for you to buy the thing and then get the other things from paying money and all of that. That wasn't gameplay. I want that to be very clear. Now let's think about the very last one being, of course, Treasure Rush. Is that gameplay? It is not. It is also a store. It's more for gambling and all of that, but there's no gameplay in it, and that's what I'm talking about. They haven't added anything that improves the gameplay or adds something new to do in the game that has to do with racing. That is a part where I have an issue with it. And like I said, it's not that I want to say that Gameloft isn't doing anything. Oh, Gameloft is just crossing their arms and they're not doing anything. No. The reality is that they did a really good thing, which I do appreciate, which was the rebalance of the cars. And I know that this is a bit of a weird topic for a lot of people because, oh, my cars got nerfed and all of that, but again, you know what is my position on it. The fact that a lot of cars that were useless, now they're useful. And yeah, I guess in a way you could consider that to be a gameplay feature, but let's put it in context that it's not really something new. Yeah, granted, a lot of cars are usable again, and that is fantastic. I applaud them for doing that because now a lot of cars can be competitive, and even if some cars really got effed by the rebalances and they're now terrible cars, like the Volkswagen IDR, which is a car that I really like, but apparently now it's pretty garbage. It's fine. You win some, you lose some. It's all right. Overall, it's a good change, and that required a lot of work to rebalance all of the cars, to do ensure that all the systems now respect the appropriate rank or class that the cars are at. All of that stuff. So that's a lot of work. In the same way that doing something like the Treasure Rush or the seasons and all of that, it's a lot of work because it's a lot of, let's add this whole new layer in the game, let's make sure that it works, that it doesn't collide with other things, it doesn't cause massive bugs. So there's a lot of work being put into all of that. So that's why I try to make it clear that I'm not trying to just crap on Gameloft and saying they're not doing anything. They're doing a bunch of things, yes, but I wish they would focus in something that is a bit more gameplay focused, that get people interested in playing the game, because in my opinion that is the problem with the game at the moment. Now more and more you encounter lobbies that are empty or very empty. Granted, Class S lobbies or Class D lobbies tend to be very full because that's where most of the players are. But overall, I would expect to see more players in other brackets, and nowadays, even though a lot of cars got rebalanced into those brackets, so a lot of people should have cars in those brackets, you still don't see them very often because I do feel like a lot less people are playing the game. Now, I have no data to confirm this. I did check in the... You know what, actually, let me show you this. This is the actual game, this is no longer a video playing. I did the Ford Mania thing, which was an interesting thing to bring a jokey car and all of that. I thought that was cool. That was a good thing to bring to spice it up a little bit, but it was a TLE. That got really boring real quick. But I did this event and purposely did an absolutely terrible time. The worst time that I possibly could, to see how many people are playing. And I found out that there's, at this point, at least almost 173,000 people have played this event. So that means there's 173,000 around, that number of players around. But here's the thing, it took forever to reach this number, even though this event was available for 2 weeks and it's an quote-unquote new car, it's a joke, it's something interesting that should bring people's eyes. It still took forever to get to this player number. And when you compare it to another Asphalt game like Asphalt 9, well, this is half of what just Android alone can do over there. And it's understandable, this is an older game, obviously the player base will decline over time. But yeah, there's not necessarily a ton of people playing, and the people that are playing, you know, 173,000 people aren't playing every day at every hour. So that's how I've noticed that the lobbies are so empty nowadays. Okay, we're back to the video. But yeah, that's what I was saying, that I think we need something in the game that brings people back in. People that maybe just opened the game to look at the Formania, did the TLE, and they closed the game again and never opened it for another 2 weeks. We need something, and by we I mean in the game, we need something that brings people back into the game, something new to do that is interesting. Something that it's not a store. Something that has something to do with the races that makes it interesting. And honestly, let's think about it this way. Imagine that you're going to a theme park, let's say Disneyland or whatever, you know, with the big mechanical attraction games, whatever they're called, roller coasters and all of that. Let's say you go to a theme park and you go to this theme park very, very often. But guess what? The theme park isn't innovating. They're not bringing any new games. So the same rides that you have been riding for the last several years, they're exactly the same. You know them by heart. They're still fun. They absolutely are still fun. But over time, you start getting bored of the same thing over and over and over and over. Now, imagine that the theme park goes like, oh, we got new stuff. Everybody, check it out. Check it out. And we go to the theme park, and what do we find? They opened a new store. Wait, what? A new store. Not a new attraction. No, they opened a new store where you can buy tickets to enter the same attractions maybe a little bit faster. I mean, it's a good thing in a way, but it's not a new thing. And then X amount of time later, they go like, oh, we added a new thing into the park. We go and check it and it's yet another new store, but this time it's random. It's more like gambling to get access to, you know? Do you see the parallels that I'm trying to make over here? It's the same thing. We've been in the same theme park for years, or however long you've been playing, but we're still finding the exact same thing over and over and over and over. And whenever Game Loft is bringing something new to this theme park, it's a new store. It's not a new ride, it's a new store. That's what I've said for a long time, that they need to bring something new. And granted, it's difficult to come up with a whole new gameplay feature and all of that. It's a ton of work. But you know what would be easier to do? A new map. It's been, what, like 2 years, 3 years by now that we haven't got a new map in the game. And man, we really, really need a new map. As much as I don't like necessarily to compare Asphalt 8 versus Asphalt 9 because they're very different in their approach to many things, Asphalt 9, one thing that has done very successfully is continue bringing new maps constantly. Every year there's, I don't know, 2-3 new maps or something like that, compared to these last 2-3 years with no new maps. The last one was Terra 9, and that was like in 2021? 2020? I think it was 2020, somewhere over there. I'm not sure, but it's been a while. So there's no new modes, there's no new maps, there's nothing new to do in the game. Yeah, there's some new cars, but even that has slowed down so much, where nowadays new cars come like every month, where before it was like a new car every 10 days. And I understand that because of the car hunts that now they happen every 7 days, maybe it's too rushed to get a new car modeled and textured and tested and everything in 1 week. So I understand that, but still, it's kind of silly how long it's taking for new cars to show up in the game. And that's another thing that keeps people entertained. Oh, there's a new car, maybe. Okay, yeah, I understand that for free-to-play players it's annoying because they cannot get these new cars. But overall, at least it brings a bit more entertainment, more excitement about the game. But when you're like, oh, this treasure rush, this car hunt for this car that has been in the game for a couple of years just ended. What is the new one? Oh, it's another old car. Great. You know, where's the entertainment? Unfortunately, it's nowhere to be found, and that is indeed where this is a bit annoying. And like I said, I don't want to make it sound like Game Loft is not doing anything. I acknowledge fully that the rebalance of the cars was both a lot of work and a good thing to bring into the game. And honestly, I don't know, maybe at the moment when I'm making this video, Game Loft is already working on something new, a new game mode or something, and I just don't know about it. And maybe they're thinking like, oh, this guy should shut up because he doesn't know what's coming. Yeah, that's fair, but you know, I can only talk about the things that I can see, and I cannot see anything new, and there hasn't been anything new for a long time. And that is why I wanted to talk about this whole thing. While obviously the main attraction to this video was talking about the treasure rush and the rewards and all of that, the reality is that we know what the treasure rush is. We know that it's very unlikely that free-to-play players are gonna get the Deus Vayan. It's very unlikely. Some people will, and I'll be happy for them that they didn't spend a cent and all of that. We know that some people are gonna shell out however much money they have in order to guarantee the car. That's fair too. So I'm not hating on the monetization of the game. The game needs monetization, I get that. Although I do feel that they have focused way too hard on the monetization and they're making it very, very unfriendly, where they're charging a lot of money for things that are not even all that good. I'm not asking for the Neon Season type of rewards to come back because I know that that was too much good stuff for so little money. I get that, I understand that. But overall, you know, the monetization, I do have my gripes with it overall, but I understand that Game Loft needs to do it. But that's where I say that you need a balance between the bad and the good things. If you can balance bringing a bad system to the game, like the hybrid upgrade system that everybody universally hated. You can balance that with bringing something new and fun to the game, a new game mode, a new map, or something to get people entertained, get people interested in reopening the game. I think that is the best thing, the best thing to do, to balance those two. Yeah, okay, we're bringing something bad that you guys are not gonna like, but at the same time we brought this good thing that you guys are going to like. And I feel like that's what's missing in the game at the moment. The monetization is very aggressive, and unfortunately we're not getting a whole lot of anything. Yeah, a lot of old cars are being rebalanced, but guess what? A lot of people, myself included, cannot upgrade them because it's so difficult to get resources now. Not difficult, but just so grindy. And even I was a person that would buy every month the Fusion Coin Pass to get 1.8 million over a month, over the course of a month. 1.8 million Fusion Coins. Why don't I do that? Because now it's still the same cost, it's still the same amount of Fusion Coin, but guess what? 1.8 million before, it was half an upgrade of a Class S car. 1.8 million Fusion Coins now is not even 1/5 of an upgrade of a Class S car. So the value diminished massively, and guess what? Because of that, now I'm not even paying it at all. Instead of Gameloft trying to get me to spend more money, and they're making me spend less because my money is worth less and less and less and less and less and less. So why do I bother, you know? So yeah, that's the part where I'm so conflicted with this. I understand Gameloft needing to make money, but the way they're approaching it, it's, in my opinion, just not good. Again, I don't work at Gameloft. I have no idea if maybe they really have more players now. Maybe they're making more money because of all these price changes. But to me, it doesn't make sense. I think, at least I am personally much less likely to spend any money on the game now that things are so expensive. And I don't know how you feel. Why don't you tell me in the comments if you agree with this or not? Because to me, I'm telling you, I would spend monthly. I would spend even more on maybe a festival when the festivals had the 50% discount. Things like that, those were good. I would spend because with $10 I would get one new car and maybe 3 old cars that I didn't have. Those were good deals. Now they ask you for a certain amount of money just for one old car and some resources, or the season where they removed actually the season and now they call it the racing pass, and they remove everything and now they just give you some kits for whatever cars. Overall, I don't. Now, I remember one creator said at some point in one of the videos that apparently Gameloft is working in making something like a seasonal thing that goes all around the game. So I imagine that will mean like multiplayer seasons themed around, for example, a Lamborghini theme, which was the example that they gave, this creator gave. Like maybe make multiplayer to be themed around Lamborghini and TLEs about Lamborghini and a car hunt about Lamborghini and all of that. I think that would at least be somewhat more interesting than what they're doing right now, because it feels so ridiculously empty. So where I want to end this whole thing, Gameloft, if you ever listen to this, and if you're thinking, okay, this person doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't understand that making a new game mode is ridiculously difficult. He doesn't understand that making a map takes a lot of time, a lot of work, and we don't have the budget for it. Okay, you know what? Fair. But I'm still gonna say, you could at least make multiplayer more interesting by doing what you plan to do from the get, making Master Season something that changes over time. As it is, multiplayer is all the same all the time. It's always do classic with, you know, whatever rank that you, whatever class that you want, and then Master Season with classes cars, and that's it. There's no changes anywhere. There's nothing to do. Like I said, maybe I'm doing wrong by mentioning Asphalt 9 so much, but Asphalt 9 does MP2, which would be in our case Master Season, and what they do over there is every week they have a different thing. Maybe it's like we just did the Lamborghini one, then they do one for whatever holiday is happening, somewhat half theme around it, maybe do it by brand, make it free tries, make it so that people can participate even if they don't own the car. That makes people want to play it. Because if I am a new player and there's a new season in multiplayer that it's all about Bugattis, you bet there's gonna be a ton of people jumping in because, oh my god, it's my chance to use the Bugatti 110, oh the Lavachuno, oh I can even use the Bolide, do all of that, and guess what? People are gonna be interested in doing it if it's a free try. But the way that they're doing now, even with TLEs that are specific to certain cars, you don't own the car, guess what? You cannot play it. Instead of me wanting to spend $10 to buy that car, to participate on the TLE, I'm like, I don't care about the TLE because the rewards aren't even all that good. That is what's happening. By limiting what cars people can use and, oh, you don't own this car, you cannot participate, you're excluding more people from playing, and guess what? That makes it less interesting for people. So Gameloft, make multiplayer more interesting, make it varied, and don't add another month-long season of multiplayer to split the player base even more, to have 3 multiplayer series going at the same time. Make the second one to change rules from time to time and make it not last 2 weeks but 1 week. Don't nerf the rewards, because if you nerf the rewards, people are not interested in playing. You guys need to find a good balance of, we still need to give something to players to make them want to continue playing, and instead of just cutting every reward, cutting everything in half, you know, I don't know, man. I just find it frustrating. To me, the solution, it's easy to see. I'm not saying that it's easy to implement or that it's the perfect solution. Oh yeah, that was the last race for this video. I'm not saying that I have all the answers. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm trying to give ideas so that maybe Game Love, you can think this for a second and do something to get your people back, your players back into the game. Because as it stands, adding a TLE that takes you all of a few minutes to do your lap, and maybe you want to perfect it over the course of a couple of days or whatever, and there you're done. That's all you're bringing. How is this more fun or entertaining? It's not. It was a good idea to add this car, sure. It was fun. It was quirky. It was interesting. But then when you add something like, where is it? Oh, the C-Class Cup. No, there was another one. Oh, is it already ended? I don't know. There was another TLE that was about, I think the what car was it? I don't remember. It was a Class S car. If you didn't have it, you couldn't participate in the event. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna spend money on getting the car to participate on an event that gives very little rewards. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to give you all my thoughts on all of this stuff. I've been meaning to talk about this in a slightly more focused manner for a while. I think I did a relatively decent job at saying what I needed to say. I don't want to delve too much into this topic again, although I do have ideas for some gameplay changes and all of that, but that will be for a DBT's wishlist video later on. For now, I just wanted to wrap my thoughts on this whole thing, and please, basically just beg to Game Love to please do something different. Stop it with the new stores. Give us something new to do, not something new to buy. But that's all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.